guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about this Spectra pump. I'm going to tell you some things I like about it, some things I don't like about it, and what I know about how to use it. So first, I always use my pumping bra. I already put this in here so I don't have to show y'all under this bra. Then you connect your bottles. I usually don't use these 4-ounce bottles, at least for my right breast, because I usually pump at least like 6 ounces. But just to show y'all, I'm gonna use it. So the Spectra is like really awesome. I heard a lot of great things about it, which is why I got it this time. With my older daughter, Logan, I used the Medela pump. But I do like the Spectra. It's quiet. It's easy to use. It's just, it doesn't seem to empty me out all the way like I would like to, but I still like it a lot. Moving forward, you connect these pieces right here to the long tubing. Then that part of the tubing goes here, and then it has the AC adapter right here to the side. You plug it into the wall, or I have an extension cord just because I like to get comfortable on the couch, have my blanket. I usually have water, and then I drink at least 1 bottle of Gatorade a day. I try to for my electrolytes because I will get lightheaded. So then you connect it right here to these little ports. Make sure everything is on there really tight because you don't want any milk, accidents happening. And you go to pushing the on button. I don't know if you guys can see that. Then it starts off at the lowest setting. But what you want to do is turn it on. Yeah, we're going to push right here where it shows cycle of 70, and then the vacuum is on 5. You can maneuver these if it's, too strong for you. I tend to like mine to be a little bit stronger. I don't know, maybe my nipples are like made of cement or something like that, but they're extra tough. So you're gonna keep this cycle going on 70, and it's gonna give like a little vibration noise until you start seeing the milk dropping down, which, as you can see, I'm already dripping quite a bit of milk. This is my slacker boob, so it doesn't give that much, but this one is already dripping a lot. Once you start getting that let down, then you can take it off of this one, which it'll go down to the cycle. You want it to be on cycle 54. And then this vacuum is one that you can kind of play with. Like when I have it on 1, I literally can't feel anything. So I usually like to hang out around the 4 and the 5 area. Another thing I like about this Spectra pump is it has a timer that it sets for 30 minutes, which is about how long you want your pumping session to be. So you can maneuver back and forth with the vacuuming, but it will automatically shut off at 30 minutes. Like I said, like with the Medela pump, it does not have that. You have to set your own little alarm. So that is one of the perks I like to this one. And you can't even hear that I'm pumping right now. And then I like this little nightlight feature also, because when it's dark, you don't have to wake up the whole house just because you're pumping. And you just sit here for 30 minutes till your pump goes off. So I'll come back to y'all for an update in a little bit. Okay, so at this point I'm about almost 8 minutes into my session, and this is how much milk I have. So far, I've already drank this little bottle of Gatorade and about half a bottle of water. So some other things that I like to do, like when I'm pumping, is come up with like different things to do, because it does kind of get boring if you're just sitting here for 30 minutes literally doing nothing. So I pull out like my computer to do different, homework, or just brainstorm things that I need to do. Just use it as like a quality time for myself while I'm pumping. But since I'm here, a while back I had asked people like some questions like that they needed to know. or that they wanted me to answer. I know I was talking to my sister-in-law earlier, and she's like, I don't know what flanges to use. So of course I'm not an expert, I'm not a professional, but I do know that if the flanges are like too small, then it'll be really painful. You'll start getting engorged. You'll feel that like when you're suctioning, it just does not it does not feel good. Also, you don't want the flanges to be so big that your nipple is literally touching the back of the pump. But some other tips that I came up with is, if you're exclusively pumping, you want to make sure that you pump before you leave home or before you leave wherever you're going. That way your clock starts over. Right now, I'm about at pumping 5 times a day. No, 6 times a day. I'm pumping 6 times a day. So, the reason I'm doing that is because, at first I was at 8 times a day. But I make a lot of milk, more than my baby drinks. So I've gone down to 6 times a day. But before I get ready to leave for work, I always pump in. Then, if I'm going to be, coming home from work, I try to pump before I even leave from work. That way my clock starts over and I can get more things done. I hate to be at the grocery store and be like, oh man, I only have an hour before I have to pump, or oh man, I only have an hour before I need to pump, and then I'm stuck in an hour of traffic and I'm in pain by the time I get home. So that's one of my tips. Also, pump whenever you get ready to go to bed. Like if you pumped 2 hours ago and now you're like, you know what, I'm about to go to bed, go ahead and pump again so you can get all your hours of sleep. Like if you pump every 4 hours, you don't want to go to bed when you only have 2 hours left before it's time to get up and pump again. You're either going to wake up engorged because you slept through it. It's just going to be painful. It's a mess. So those are some things that I've been going by, especially this time around. At first with Logan, I was like, okay, well, just every 4 hours I'm going to set my alarm. It's like, no, now I'm going to do what's good for me. If it's 10 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night, I'm going to pump before I go to bed so I can get the full 4 hours of rest. The next tip I have is always have backup pumping supplies. Like your insurance should give you another set every so often, but just in case not, always have an extra set. When I had Landon this time around, my first set had got all messed up and I could not find my backup set. And the worst thing you want to do is have full boobs and can't find your pumping supplies to be able to relieve yourself, especially if you're exclusively pumping. So always make sure you have backup supplies. Always make sure you double check your bag before you get ready to go to work or to the store or wherever, and make sure that you have everything that you need, because it's the worst to be in pain like that, and it's not very easy trying to get a hold of backup supplies. See. Oh, I already told you to drink plenty of water. Breast milk is 80% of water. So you want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated. So this is really important. And then also just making sure that you are thinking of a schedule that works well for yourself. I kind of do well when I do the 8, 12, 4, and 8. So that's kind of what my pumping time is. But like I said, if it's one of those nights where I'm going to bed before midnight, I go ahead and, pump earlier. But I try to stay along that, time frame. We're about 13 minutes in. I got half a bottle. I hope I don't have to change this bottle for you guys during there. Then this is just me also massaging my boobs. That just kind of helps me get some more of the milk out, because I like to feel completely empty once I'm done pumping. This is my little slacker boob, so you can kind of see the difference in how much milk I get. And then, I don't know if you can tell, but this Spectra is still super quiet, which is really nice. Another thing that I have down is it doesn't have to be like Gatorade that you drink. You can also drink like Pedialyte, or I know there's like different electrolyte packs. The most important thing is just, you know, making sure that your body has all the proper electrolytes in it. And then just depending on whatever pump you use, there's all types of hacks out there. I guess at some point I could do some of the hacks, but just try to make your pump like yours. Go ahead and customize it. Like I have the Freemie cups. Like I said, I have the Medela pump, I have the portable Spectra, I have the baby Buddha, I have the regular Spectra. So you can just do a combination of different things and find out like what makes you feel the most comfortable. Like with Logan, I just used the Medela pump. That was it. I used the standard things, but this time around I'm just like whatever makes me feel comfortable. Some days I'm like, let's do the Medela, let's do the Spectra, let's put the Freemie cups in so I can go do loads of laundry. So just don't be afraid to try different things with the pump. It's not one way to do it. It's multiple ways to get the job done. Oh, and then hopefully you have a partner or somebody who's going to be willing to help you throughout this journey. But one thing they can do is clean those bottles. So if you're looking for different things to delegate to your partner, cleaning the bottles is one of them. It's really nice when you can just go in there and grab the bottles instead of having to clean it before you have to pump. Because when pumping time comes around, it's like, you know, it gets a little painful for me. It's kind of like a hangry effect. It's like I need to pump and I need to pump now, and I need all my gizmos and gadgets to be able to take care of that. So that's one of those things you can delegate to, you know, whoever's going to be helping you with the baby at first, or hubby, or, you know, honestly, something that you can do yourself in the morning time, making sure that you have enough bottles throughout the day so you don't have to worry about that before each pumping session. Another great thing is to start thinking about right away is where you're going to be storing your milk if you're going to be exclusively pumping, because the baby at first is not going to eat that much milk. At some point they'll catch up with you, but you want to make sure that you have room for your milk. You don't want to stop your pumping journey because you don't have a place to put your milk. I have 2 deep freezers, which one of my deep freezers is already full. So you just kind of need to think ahead, like, well, what am I going to do with my milk once I start being able to store some of it, because that will happen. Another thing is keeping track how much milk you pump a day. It can get a little obsessive sometimes though. Like you're like, oh, how many ounces did I pump today? But keeping track of how many ounces you pump today, a day, will help you keep track of if your supply is going down. Like, do I need to drink more water? You know, it keeps you knowing like what's going on with your body. I know at one point I was pumping like 70 ounces a day, and of course as my sessions were going down, I stopped pumping that much milk a day. So when you're letting go of those pumping sessions, you want to make sure that you don't go from like 100 to 0. You kind of want to do like a gradual going down. So it's good to know how much on average you pump a day so you know if something's off. Let's see. Oh, as you're giving baby milk out of the freezer, of course you want to use those older dates first. That way, because you can keep it in the deep freezer, I think, for like a year. So you don't want milk to expire because you were giving out the newer milk compared to the older milk. Alright, so at this point we're about 20 minutes in, and it's looking like I'm gonna have to change bottles. This is my slacker boob. It's not all the way full, but this one always seems to fill up. So I try to just go ahead and start off using the bigger bottles. But I thought it would act right for me because I was recording this video for y'all, but I guess not. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video and switch out my bottles. All right, I am back. It's really the worst thing that happens to me when I'm pumping. I hate being right in the middle of a session and having to get up in the middle of it. Can you give me a lid?
Where's it at?
In the kitchen.
What kind of lid? I don't see no bitch.
A pink one or a white one. See? It's good to have hubbies.
Which one? Pink one?
Pink or white.
Oh, I see right. This is for the big one now.
Okay, so we got 10 more minutes left.
Is that one?
Right. Yeah, so at least have, you know, a bigger bottle or, you know, or have you some extra bottles so you don't have to get all the way up like me. Let's go. A few more minutes, so let's see if we got some more of these tips.
I think her kisses when she pumps.
Okay. Someone asked me if I had ever tried to use like supplements. I have tried to use them before, but I already make like a lot of milk, so I try to stay away from them because I don't think my husband wants to buy another deep freezer. So, but I mean, I don't have anything against them. It seems like they work for some people. It's just for me, it's not really my area of expertise. Another tip, I guess it was just a tip that someone put in there, was to just pay attention to like what you're eating. That way, you can know what like makes baby's tummy hurt. Like I try to stay away from like hot wings unless it's gonna be one of those pump or dump nights. Then I'll go ahead and have hot wings, and then I'll have a drink too. That way I can just dump that milk. Actually, not even dump, like just dump it into a bag and save it for a milk bath because I don't really like to just dump my milk. The other things like, you know, beans, you know, you want to stay away from like those gassy things, like even broccoli. Like I just have a gassy baby, but you know, when I eat things that produce gas, it really gets to her stomach too. So just kind of watch out for like what you're eating and think about whatever you put in your body, you're giving to baby. So keep those things in mind. Let me see. Oh, and then just always get as comfortable as possible when it's like time for you to pump. I always like to have like a blanket over my legs. I don't care like how hot it is outside. Like I just like to have like my blanket and, you know, think happy thoughts because I feel like it has an effect on how much milk I'm able to like actually let down. I don't like to be cold at all when I'm pumping, and I also don't really like to eat when I'm pumping. For some reason it makes me feel nauseous, so I try to just do more of the drinking of water and stuff while I'm pumping. Oh, and then like, and of course you didn't get to see me have my bra on, but I like to wear the pads inside my bra because I do tend to just like let down. I'm one of those moms whenever my babies, even Logan, if I see Logan crying or feelings hurt, it kind of has an effect on me letting down milk. So I really do suggest the milk pads. I like the disposable ones and the washable ones, but of course the disposable ones are a little bit easier to use, and it doesn't really matter what the brand is as long as I can put it inside my bra and it's not destroying my bras. And then the pumping bras, I use all kinds of them. I use this one, the little Medela one that you can just stick the tubing in. Then I also have the ones where you can just, it like kind of looks like a sports bra. I use all kinds of them. I don't really have a preference, but there are different kinds out there if there are certain ones you don't like. And I've even seen it like on Pinterest where you can make your own pumping bra if you have like certain bras or, large breasts. It can, help you feel more comfortable. And then, throughout your, whole pumping journey, whoever is going to be, your helpful person, it's also good for them to know certain things about your milk. Like, my husband knows that I don't like to waste my milk, so use it wisely. Use all of it. Also teach him how to use the older milk first, like I previously mentioned. And for my oldest daughter, before I would use different bottles. Like if she was drinking 5 ounces, I would make 5-ounce bottles throughout the day. But this time around, me and my husband noticed that it's a little bit easier just to put them in the big bottles and kind of use the pitcher system where you just pour it in there. It just makes it easier for you and for other people who are going to be coming around. They can just pour it to whatever number or whatever, and just use it that way. And also the bottles I use is I like the drop-in bottles. I guess I can show that to y'all another time when I'm more mobile. But I really do like the drop-in bottles because you can just throw the little plastic liners in the trash. And I use those for Landon and for Logan. And they have different nipples too, just in case they're just not a fan of, one nipple. They have different nipples you can interchange in there. But I'll show that to y'all another time. Let's see. I think that's it. I feel like I've told y'all a lot. So I think we can stop there for the day. I haven't gone through all of this list though. But if you think of other questions before the next time I show y'all another pump, just let me know. I still have about 4 minutes left on this pumping session, and I'll show y'all a picture of how much milk I end up pumping in this session. But typically my afternoon and evening sessions aren't my larger sessions. My larger sessions are in the morning. I would say my 4 o'clock and my 8 o'clock are usually the ones I pump the most milk out of. But yeah, I really do like the Spectra. It's just, I think because my nipples are so tough, they just like the Medela better. Because at the end, I feel like, ooh, I'm empty. Compared to the Spectra's a nice little massage session. It gets the job done, but it just seems like it takes a little bit longer to me. But I like the Spectra overall. I would recommend it, to anybody. I think, yeah. I just have a preference for, I think, the Medela a little bit more. But I go back and forth. When I first had my daughter, I was like, Spectra, Spectra, Spectra. Then I had a time where I was like, I just want the Medela. And then I went back to the Spectra, and now I'm back at the Medela. So I think it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. But I call the Medela my old faithful just because I know it always gets the job done. Compared to the Spectra, I still feel like I think you could be a little bit better. But that's just my, it's just my opinion. But that is it. Yeah, I'll take a picture with my milk whenever I'm all done. All right, bye. All right, so after I finished pumping, now my boobs are all nice and soft. I thought to myself, I was like, what? I should show them how to I put the milk up. I have the Medela bags right now, which I love the Medela pump, but the bags, you know, they're not my favorite. I like the little purple and white ones. I think they're called like Lancelin or something like that. I love those bags. They're like, I don't know. I just like them. It's a preference. I mean, they're all bags. I guess it's like a Ziploc bag. But my preference would be those purple and white ones. But so many of these wonderful supporters got me the Medela one. So this is the one I'm using. So I ended up pumping like 1, 2, and then it's almost 4 ounces in this one. And I like to label my bags by like 5-ounce bags, just standard. But sometimes if I end up getting like more, a little bit less, I'll just go ahead and just label it whatever. On the bag at the top, it's really nice. It asks for the name and then the date and then how many ounces are in the bag. So if you know your baby likes 5 ounces, it's kind of nice to already have a 5-ounce bottle labeled. That way you can just have, you know, one of the bags or whatever. I don't know if y'all can see that. Landon, 5 ounces, and it's about 10:30. So then I just pour the milk into the bag. By the way, I do not recommend you do this sitting on the couch. I'm just exhausted, so that's what's gonna happen today, you know? That's just it. But I do not recommend. This could be very ghetto if I make a wrong move, so. Then I just seal the bag really nicely. And then this part is very important whenever you're laying it in your freezer, to lay it like flat. That way it freezes flat and it takes up less space. Like, you know, instead of it being all, you know, bent and everything, just lays flat. And then you can put more in the freezer. But yeah, so I just wanted to show y'all that, like how I end up labeling the bags and everything. I have one more that I'm gonna do. And then my little 3.5 bottle, I'm just gonna put that one in the refrigerator and I'll just use that for her next feed. So I don't have to waste a whole bag. And then from there, you know, you just sterilize or clean your bottle, whichever one you prefer. I do both. I go back and forth. Sometimes if I have extra time, I'll just go ahead and sterilize my bottles between all pumping sessions. But if I don't, I just let them stack up in the sink and hubby kind of just cleans them for me as we go. Because we're tag teaming. We're tag teaming this event. So yeah, got my 2 bottles here that I'm gonna lay flat in the freezer, like I said, just like this. And then it doesn't take up very much space. And I'm just gonna put my bottle lid on this one to stick in the refrigerator. And I was so busy talking to you guys, I did not finish my bottle of water. So I'm gonna finish that too. I try to finish at least a bottle of water every pumping session too. So that way I know I'm keeping myself hydrated. So that's at least 5 bottles of water a day, because I do at least 5 sessions, but most days I do 6. So, all right, y'all have a good night.